My name is Martina Stevens. I'm the elephant manager here at the Houston Zoo. I'm in charge of the day-to-day operation in the elephant area, and that includes the care of the zoo's herd of elephants, which is 7, 3 males and 4 female elephants.
Mandy?
Yeah?
Let's go ahead and move him and start his stall.
Okay.
Working with elephants is, I mean, I think it's the greatest job ever, but, you know, it's my chosen career. But it's fun because it's something new every day, and it's a new challenge.
If you want to grab him, I'll get the door.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. All right, Ty, go around. I think he actually ate the tones and not the bread.
Ty, move up. Come here.
Come here, Ty.
Good boy.
Elephants are the largest living land animals, and Asian elephants can get up to, you know, 14,000 pounds. Thailand, our bull is, you know, right around 12,500 right now, and he's the father of our calves. They're highly intelligent creatures. I think they're probably as intelligent, if not more so, than like the great apes or dolphins, but I'm a little bit biased, of course, to them. Our daily routine is, you know, there's never the same day twice.
Rob, we're gonna go ahead and feed her out, and then we'll have a quick powwow. Just plan the day
And you know, what I enjoy the most about working with elephants is just they're unique individuals. They communicate with each other. They anticipate situations. Asian elephants are endangered mostly due to habitat loss at this point and human-elephant conflict. It kind of boils down to there's too many people and too little space for the elephants.
There's about 40,000 Asian elephants left in all of the wild, which is a very small population. We take our conservation and education programs to the next level. Some other good zoos do that also, but that means, you know, not just getting people to care, but getting them involved, engaged, and helping us. The ultimate goal is to get people to care more about wildlife, and if they care more, they'll help save it.
You know, there's only a handful of Asian elephant calves born in captivity every year, so the fact that we had 2 last year is a huge deal. And, you know, they're very endangered, so, you know, anytime you have an endangered species born at your institution, you know, that's great.
Baylor's ready. Don't let the water out.
Baylor and Tupelo are pretty much like any baby, I think. You know, play, 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 eat, sleep, and Baylor's no exception. You know, he's fun, but he's definitely more of a cautious type personality for a little elephant than what we are used to. Now he's starting to come around a little bit more to us, and he likes to spend time with us and wants to do some training and things like that. Tupelo is a completely different personality. She's very social, outgoing, and independent. And she's younger than Baylor. She's only about 4 months old, whereas he now is 9 months old. It's great to see them running together. They like to climb all over each other, play with toys. It's awesome to watch them develop and become more coordinated as they get older. They both have always loved water since they were really, really tiny, and bath is seems to be one of their favorite parts of the day. So giving them something like the kiddie pool where they can completely lay down and play and splash and submerge is fun. And, you know, we hope that it makes them happy, makes us happy to watch.
You can go ahead and close that, Rob. Baylor, back up. Yep. Good.
Well, as you can imagine, it's very somber. We're all devastated. Mac was a very important part of our family.
Well, Mac
started developing herpes symptoms early yesterday morning, Sunday morning. But it's a dormant virus. It stays asleep in you. Something triggers it, though, usually in younger animals. And when it gets triggered and it's active, it's lethal at least 90% of the time.
When we lost Mac, you know, it's like a part of your family. So I don't like to talk about it, actually. Give me a sec. Sorry. You know, it's like losing a member of your family, and, you know, you're devastated. We were all devastated.
As soon as she's done nursing. No point in asking.
EEHV stands for elephant endotheliotropic herpes virus. It's that age range when they're just about, you know, 2 or they're weaning that they become susceptible to EEHV. And that is our biggest challenge above everything else, is how can we get these babies through this period of time? And then Dr. Joe Flanagan and Dr. Lauren Howard are 2 of our veterinarians here at the zoo. And, you know, we work with them on care for the elephants and husbandry. They come down and check in on the elephants, or if we have any issue with them, we'll call the vets. And Dr. Joe's pretty much on 24-hour call with us. If we have any issue at all, one of them will come in and check the elephants and help us out.
We tilled this morning. Yeah. They've been spending so much time in here, you know, since
Baylor and Tupelo are at very high risk of becoming ill or dying from herpes virus. And that's one thing that we keep in mind here at Houston Zoo all the time. The virus attacks the lining of the blood vessels within the baby elephant, and it causes them to leak. So what we see is widespread hemorrhage and buildup of fluid or edema in all of the organs in the elephants that we've done autopsies on. The problem is, by the time we see clinical signs, that means the virus has spread throughout the body and has already caused almost irreversible organ damage. So if we wait to see that these elephants are sick, most of the time it can be too late to treat them and to try to bring them around. So a lot of our focus has been trying to diagnose this disease before it even causes illness.
So this is what she's been rubbing, and she's keeping it soft. So right. And then it's kind of traveled down to here. It's very sensitive, so watch you don't get kicked.
I know that they have a viral infection in our herd. I know that our animals are susceptible. I don't think there's any place better for them to be watched and monitored than here because of the team that we have. Do I worry? You bet I worry.
Of any zoo in the country, we are the most prepared for herpes virus. We are the most aware of it. But even with all of that, all of our preparation and all of our meetings and everything that we do, we stand a very, very good risk of losing either Tucker, our 5-year-old, Baylor, our 9-month-old, or Tupelo, our 5-month-old, to herpes virus before they reach maturity. And that reality is really what pushes us to keep going.
Stuff more than the others. Like, she'll go to the cables and rub and rub and rub.
In the wild, if a baby elephant died in a herd, nobody would ever actually even look at it for the most part. Now people are looking at it, and lo and behold, what we're finding is those calves in the wild are often dying of herpes too.
We've dealt with herpes virus at the zoo long before I got here, and we've always felt like we knew the signs and we were prepared and we would do whatever we could. Okay. And with Mac, we did. We did exactly what the recommendations were at the time, and we were unable to save him. And that really made us start questioning, where are we going with this research and how can we make it better?
After learning that Mac had died, I called Joe Flanagan and gave him my condolences.
And I said, you know, we just have to beat this. We have to figure out how to work this and not have any more deaths. My career goal is I never want to do another post-mortem examination on an elephant the rest of my life.
And he said, well, that's really great, but what we really need is a research team to find out more about this disease and how to develop a vaccine so we can treat it. I said, Joe, give me a few days and I'll get back with you.
Not too long after that, he called back and said, well, we might be able to work up an agreement where we could work with you, researchers, people that have done a lot of work with herpes viruses in humans, might be able to help out in this.
And we really started talking about what concrete things can we do that will ensure that we don't lose another elephant here at the zoo, but also help us find out how to prevent anyone from losing an elephant at any zoo in the country or even in the wild.
This is, to me, a dream come true. Here we sit, across the street from the Texas Medical Center, one of the largest medical complexes in the world, with a lot of very smart people. The brain power, the resource that we've got there is incredible. So that was the turning point when in the aftermath, and we received the sympathy of the entire city of Houston, but more importantly from some very interested and caring people in the Texas Medical Center, and that set us on a new path.
I think the collaboration between Baylor College of Medicine and the zoo is quite unique. In many respects, historically, veterinary medicine and human medicine very rarely have opportunities to interact with each other.
So you have a huge collaboration between veterinarians, elephant managers, medical doctors that do research, as well as PhD research scientists that are all focused on this one particular problem.
Baylor elephant is the latest calf from Shanti, the female elephant that we've had now for about 10 years. He's named after Baylor College of Medicine, and we deliberately did that because of the involvement of Baylor College of Medicine at the Houston Zoo.
Baylor College of Medicine is almost literally across the street from the Houston Zoo. We can talk to them about what they observe, but then we also have the opportunity to actually go there and watch what's going on with the elephants. Ultimately, the goal is to develop a vaccine against this particular virus so that we can provide some sort of immunity for juvenile elephants against this particular viral infection.
The elephant herpes virus is a major issue for both captive elephants as well as elephants in the wild. And because this is an endangered species, we think there's going to be added pressures to maintain sustainable populations. We're going to have to solve this problem.
We do blood draw with the elephants on a routine basis, and they're all trained to give blood.
Back up. Steady, steady.
Whoever's drawing the sample will disinfect the back of the ear. The skin on the back of their ears is very thin, and that makes it easier for us to find a vein, and then it's transferred into whatever type of tube we need. Like today, we put the blood into a purple top vacutainer. It's a for whole blood, and that goes over to Baylor College of Medicine.
So I'm just gonna try to get like 4 or 5 cc's for the sample for Baylor.
Steady, Tucker. Tucker, lean in. Steady.
He's all set. He's all set, Rob. He was good.
Got it.
Okay. Mandy, would you mind filling out the paperwork for the samples?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. And then I'm gonna run them up to the clinic.
Okay.
Baylor College of Medicine has just been so great, giving us so many resources and so much of their time to help us try to find a way to save these baby elephants. In the back of your mind, you're always afraid that you could lose another one to the virus. Maybe we're paranoid, but I feel like if we let our guard down, that would be a huge mistake, so we're very vigilant. My greatest hope for the research is that if it's not a cure, it's a vaccine, and we don't lose any more little elephants to this virus.
Morning.
Hey, Martina.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So we have Tess and Tucker samples for you this morning.
Excellent.
And
Thank you so
there's
much.
your paperwork.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've developed a very sensitive diagnostic test in our laboratory for the elephant herpes virus, and it's based on a technique or assay that we call polymerase chain reaction, or PCR. This is an assay which can amplify up very, very tiny amounts of genetic material of our choosing within any particular sample. And so we've developed our test using this PCR technology so that we can amplify up or detect very, very tiny amounts of genetic material from the elephant herpes virus.
We have a very specialized machine which performs this reaction and also detects the fluorescent DNA as it's being created. If we detect DNA in that sample, then we know that we've got an elephant that's got this virus in the bloodstream.
The great thing about this test is it's very sensitive and it's very rapid. So we're able to collect samples from the Houston Zoo, and same day with a turnaround time of as short of even about 2.5 to 3 hours, we can have a result back to the Houston Zoo in terms of assessing levels of this virus in any sample that we're given.
And this is very important in this particular disease because elephants that become sick with this can be dead within 24 hours of the first signs being detected.
Until Baylor College of Medicine joined our herpes virus crusade, we were like every other zoo in the country where if we had a baby that we suspected to be ill from elephant herpes virus, we would collect blood, put it in a tube, ship it on ice overnight to the National Zoo. So that alone was a delay of 12 hours of diagnosis.
Historically, the test that's been run has only found virus in very sick animals. One of the problems that we had was, we were wanting to see where the virus was before animals were sick.
Their super sensitive PCR test enables us to quantify even minute amounts of virus in either blood or trunk wash. So we're able to tell if animals have circulating virus even if they're not sick.
What does that mean? That means that we can find virus before the animal has become ill. We can find virus before the virus has caused any changes in the tissues, and we might be able to treat it before it gets the upper hand in an animal.
The faster anti-herpes virus medications are given to an animal, then the greater chance these animals have of surviving the disease.
So now that baby Baylor and Tupelo are involved in the regular screening program, we'll be able to detect the virus in the bloodstream as soon as possible. The sooner we can institute treatment, the more likely the elephant is to survive.
Good, Shawnee.
Historically, what we have seen is an animal will just show up with illness and die. And we don't know how they got it. We don't know where it comes from. We don't know what's going on.
When we started our collaboration with Baylor a year and a half ago, our goal was to keep our babies alive at our zoo. And we wanted to know how to do that. And we're doing everything we can for that. And now we need to look at all the elephants in the country and even the world, and what can we do with our special relationship with Baylor and our resources to find some answers.
What we've done with this project is ask, does this elephant herpes virus behave like other known herpes viruses? Human herpes viruses, monkey herpes viruses. Every mammalian species screened to date has been shown to have herpes viruses. And we've screened a variety of fluid secretions. The one that we focused on are nasal secretions, sampling the trunks and then looking for virus DNA in those samples. And we found, surprisingly, that Asian elephants are actually very commonly infected with this virus. But then that virus goes dormant in that animal, and the virus can lay very quiet for years and years and years without causing any problems. But then occasionally there's periods of what we call virus reactivation and shedding.
We now know with our relationship with Baylor that elephants shed the virus in their nasal secretions, their trunks.
And elephants use their trunks like toddlers use their hands. They stick them everywhere. So if an elephant is shedding virus in his trunk and he's putting the trunk in the water and sticking it in other elephants' mouths and in babies' faces and stuff, you can see how the virus would spread quite rapidly.
We don't have all the answers yet in terms of how it might cause disease, and we don't really understand the processes of reactivation of this virus. The other big issue we don't know with this is why some juvenile Asian elephants succumb to this virus and get disease, and why apparently some get infected and don't get disease. Our long-term goal is to look at the different types of immune responses that elephants might generate to herpes viruses and ultimately develop a vaccine.
I actually grew up right outside DC, and the National Zoo was the zoo that I went to the whole time growing up, and one of the veterinarians there was the one who inspired me to become a zoo veterinarian. I was fortunate enough to be able to go to the zoo, the National Zoo, every once in a while and see what the vets were doing. And on one of those visits, I actually got to meet Kumari when she was just a few months old. She's a really cute baby elephant, and she was my first close-up experience with an elephant.
Kumari started off with an illness that was sort of nebulous. You know, there wasn't anything really specific that we could hang our hats on. After the 5th day, we thought she was getting a little bit better, but instead she actually died. So it wasn't until we took her tissues under the microscope where we saw the possible evidence of a virus.
The herpes virus collaboration started actually in DC between the National Zoo's Elephant Herpes Lab and Dr. Gary Hayward from Johns Hopkins.
Almost everything we really understand about this virus and disease at the moment is based on the DNA analysis.